Now let me tell y'all something about dreams. Listen up, because this is something I found out a long time ago that goes against everything you see in a movie, on TV, or what your great-grandma may have told you when you were a kid. See, dreams don't happen overnight. That ain't how it works. See, they come to you in the daylight. You gots to be awake. Cause baby, you got to run dreams down. See, that chase is where we learn the most about ourselves. To take that extra step, that extra mile, that extra rep. Now look here. You don't never know how long it's gonna take or exactly what it'll look like when you get there. The only thing you know is you can never stop. So, question time. What's your dreams? What's your dream? Are you willing to do what it takes to make that dream a reality? No. See, not while you're sleeping, but every darn day you wake up. Because if it does, good morning. Now give me my darn theme.
Oh boy, man, welcome in, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. We starting the season all right with a banger. We got Coach Dre in the building, and we got our dog in here, Dukes the Scoop, man. What is going on, man? First of all, before we start anything in this, man, how you guys doing, man? I just want to know how y'all doing, how everything been, how y'all been doing. It's been a long time coming, so hey, let's get into it.
I'm good. What's up with you, Coach Dre?
Man, it's been a long one today, boy. First day of spring practice. I've been rocking and rolling since about 5 o'clock, bro. So, you know, it was a big day for us. Big day for us all the way around. I didn't even get to see the press conference or nothing. I had to catch it backhand. But, you know, it's just been busy, man. But I'm blessed. I can't complain. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad to be here. Glad to be able to talk with y'all brothers. Like I say, man, it's just a brotherhood. It's for me, it's about the blessings, man. It's about being a blessing because you are a blessing. I told you, I always tell people I'm just a nobody trying to bless somebody. So that's my thing, man. I'm just happy to see y'all boys. Make sure y'all prospering and make sure that we are doing what we need to do. But blessings to all y'all boys and blessings to everybody in the chat. Much love and respect. Go ahead.
Oh, man, as always, man. I had a whole thing that I had laid out for today, but I just thought to start this thing off tonight is just I'm gonna kick this off to Dukes first. Just your initial thoughts when you heard about, you know, the health of Coach Prime, because I just think it's bigger than it's just bigger than football. It's life, but I just wanted you to touch upon like when you first heard about it, because nobody's heard your thoughts and anything on it. So I just want to know what you felt about everything that transpired.
Man, you know what? It's just par for the course with Coach Prime, right? Like, I think the person that we see sometimes, it could be larger than life because we grew up with him. You know, we saw him in every stage of his life since he hit the scene. His life has been public the whole time, nonstop. You probably can't get 6 months of life since he popped on the scene that you didn't hear one thing about Coach Prime in some type of, you know, damn sure not a whole 12 months. So when you think about somebody that you grew up with, like you hear like how people was acting about Hulk Hogan, whether wrong or right. You know, there's a lot of people said that they felt like that was a childhood hero. So same thing with Coach Prime, but imagine having a childhood hero that's really like that's like you, like dude, that and makes and goes out of his way to make sure that people feel like, hey, I'm just like you, dog. Like he goes out of his way. So when I heard it, man, you know, of course it hits different because it's almost like understand. It's like when we saw Superman first get hit with kryptonite. It's like, bro, whoa, like, hey, Superman, this Superman. You know what I'm saying? But what I loved about it was that Coach Brown, he wanted to take it on so he could show people like, hey, look, even if Superman get hit with kryptonite, that don't mean that the fight over. And so I think that's what the most important thing was for me is that to see, it's one thing for somebody to tell you how they fought or to tell you how it was back in the day, but it's another thing for somebody to tell you what they can do, what they willing to do, and what they have done today.
Yeah.
So for him, you know, all of that, you know how they say, do as I say, not as I do? Well, he's doing what he's really living about what he says. And I think that speaks volumes, man. So shout out to Coach Prime.
Yes, sir.
I mean, at the end of the day, I just really watched the video. It it hit a little different. Like you say, you look at people differently, and you don't never know people's struggle. You never know what they're really going through, and it make you realize that what you're really going through really don't be mattering. It don't really be as bad as you think it be. You think you really going through something, and then you hear this story. But what I took from it is the strength and the courage that he has to fight these battles. And like we say, it's always something. He not like this is not like he said. This ain't for me. This is for everybody to understand the faith and the power of God. It ain't got nothing to do with just me. He just using me as the vessel. Because see, if it was somebody else, you wouldn't pay attention to it. It wouldn't. If it was just average person who go through it day to day, then you'd have never looked at it. Now, like you say, it's a call for people to go out and get checked and to check on their health and to do things like that. So, and the biggest thing I took from it is Bucky to me the real MVP.
Yeah.
Bucky to me he the real MVP. If you can't see what love really look like, you better go look at Bucky because I can only imagine sitting behind this camera trying to hold together my emotions when that ain't to y'all that's just Coach Prime or Deion Sanders laying on that bed, but that's my daddy. And you hear Coach Prime cracking a joke, but the saddest moment for me was he said, "Well, if anything happened, boy, Bucky, you gonna be taken care of," and you see Bucky pause, gather itself, and then respond like, "Hey man, you gonna be all right. Ain't nothing finna happen." But just imagine if that's your daddy laying there. I can all I can do is go back to being 16 years old and the man who helped raise me, because like I said, it take a village. Watching a very strong man go from a very strong man to a weak individual. And I remember him laying on his dying bed and asking me to take care of everybody. And that's all like y'all really don't understand what that feel like till he laying there. He say, "Baby, I'm 13 years old. I'm the baby." But he telling me you gotta take care of everybody, and for the rest of my life, that's all I've ever done. Like my mama say, sometimes you gotta slow down, and to me, you can't. And to me, that's what Bucky is. Like at the end of the day, Bucky the real MVP. But it make you really think about: do you really have real problems going on when you
Yeah.
sit there and see this, and make you realize that hey, life is short. Get checked, because just imagine if he just did what most black men do. Oh man, I'll be all right. It's fine. It'll be okay. Whatever, and just pushed aside. So I'm just happy that he's okay. I'm happy that he beat it. And then, like you say, it's a bigger testimony for other people. So that I'm just happy, like I say. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for what real love look like, you go look at Bucky. Really go look
Uh,
at Bucky.
the sacrifice that Bucky took. But I got to get my hats off to make sure Miss Lowe don't get missed in the situation too, also, because she's been there through every situation, through 14 surgeries, and still be standing next to him. And it's a bigger message in it, right? And so the theme of today was Colorado season just means more than ever before. You take out the Travis Hunter, you take out the Shador. This season is gonna be dedicated to Coach Prime, and you go all the work them boys been put in, all the text messages, all the DMs. The time is here. The time is now, and you got to show it, right? Because your coach then already showed you. I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure I'm 100% to go in these next 3 months to be ready for this moment in this time. If you can't give nothing, if you can't run through a wall for your coach right now, what are we talking about? Well, I just want you to, I just want you to talk about what this year means for Colorado.
Man, it means everything. When you think about somebody who literally gave up a bladder, gave up an organ to be with you. Now that's the truth. This ain't this ain't conjecture. This ain't, cap. This is I had the opportunity to save the bladder God gave me, or I could let medicine create me another one with part of my intestine. Like the doctor was right there. And he didn't have to do that. The only reason he did that was so he could be back for this football season. So the sacrifice that he's putting in, You mean to tell me you can't go hard while y'all running hundreds? Come on. You mean to tell me that if you're supposed to be first in your drill, you can't be first in your drill? You mean to tell me you too tired to go to class? I mean, now the level of accountability just goes up even more. So now you're not just thinking about being a Hall of Famer. You're not just thinking about Super Bowl rings. Now you're thinking about this is a real man, a man amongst men. So as he's helping shape and mold these young men, how much more of an example could you look for than to somebody who's willing to sacrifice, comfort of life, right? I know that's uncomfortable the way he got to roll around now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for him, but to say, look, I'll do this for y'all. Shoot, man, if it's me, man, like you got to. I'm sitting back trying to see if I got some eligibility left. I want to go play for him now. You hear me?
Yeah.
Nah, for sure.
But it's a blessing, man. It's what it is. So go ahead, Coach Dre.
I mean, at the end of the day, what it's gonna be is like you say, and this is why I tell y'all, like you just gotta, when you align with certain people, when you know you living in your purpose, like that's been my message for the last 2 weeks. My kids, even my parents, they'll tell you that's been my message for the last. What will you sacrifice? What will you sacrifice for these young men to be as great as they want to be? Everybody, again, everybody want to be great. Everybody want to be the top dog. But in my Bible, it say to be great, all you got to do is be willing to serve. So how many of y'all are willing to serve? I mean, God didn't ask for much. He said, if you want to be great, all you got to do is be willing to serve. And that's where we miss it. That's why a lot of people ain't great. Because you ain't willing to serve. You ain't willing to make no sacrifice. You ain't willing to put yourself, you not willing to put somebody needs in front of yours. It's always me, 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 me. What can you do for me? Not what can I do for somebody else. I think my grandma told me a long time ago, she say, baby, I was walking down the road one day and you saw three preachers going to the church. And it's a homeless man laying side the road. And she say two preachers, they passed the man by. And they had some excuse. I'm trying to hurry up and get to church. I'm trying to do this. I ain't got time to see about you this, that. But the third preacher stopped and helped him. And he say, when he got to the church and the other preachers asked why he stopped and helped him, he said the question is, it's not what would have happened to this man what would have happened to me if I'd have stopped and helped this man, is what would have happened to this man if I wouldn't have stopped and helped him. And so that's like that's what it's all about, man. We got to put our pride to the side. I mean, in all aspects of life. In all aspects of life. Pride get mucked up in the way of fame or clout chasing or whatever. And I heard that today. Why he had to do this, and this. Well, he had to do it because it's gonna help somebody. If he didn't bless nothing but one person, he did it for a reason. But I think these kids, like when you think about a guy like Tyler Brown, when you think about a kid like JB, what do you think this means to kids like that? And then when you got kids that have been committed to Coach Prime, what you think this means for Juju Lewis and Caden Salter and those guys that just got here, and then Sincere Brown, those guys are just getting to feel what it's going to be around Coach Prime and what it's going to be. So I just think I think the Big 12 in trouble, because I already thought we had a good team, but now when you add this raw emotion and this raw, I can't think about me, this can't be about me attitude to these young men, I think you expected something special. So I'm just excited to get this thing rolling and to see what the Colorado Buffalo is going to be. But it's definitely going to be, I think they say one of the kids asked Coach Prime what they could do for him. And Prime told him simply, just win.
Yeah.
Simply just win. So, I mean, he told you it's simple. And so I think we got the remedy of what we're going to do. So I'm looking forward to what's going to happen.
All right, so here's the last question before we get into the real football talk. With the message that's been delivered from Coach Prime today, out to the public, right? What message does that send to the up and coming recruits that was thinking that might not have made the decision because Coach Prime wasn't there on the visit. What message does that send to those kids right now, Dukes?
He coming. Not even he coming. He here. So I think now with the added, you think about the added purpose for the season. Shoot, man, can you imagine how that Georgia Tech game gonna be? Like for anybody who comes to visit that game,
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Shit, I'm trying to figure it out now. Like
Yeah.
so imagine you being a recruit with the energy that'll be there. You know, watching Coach Prime hit the field again. TV, you only got to be there. You could be a recruit waiting to go to a visit on Saturday and be in your hotel room and just watching to see, watching Colorado at 8 o'clock at, Eastern time, seeing what's going on. And you watch that game primetime TV on Friday night. Man, and you see the energy and everybody don't watch the game of Colorado on TV, that electricity pops off the screen.
Yeah.
You ever see like when you got that static shock and that hair raise up on your arm or something like that?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you see Colorado on TV, especially when you see some of the stuff that they had happen last year. So that first game, it's going to be electric, and I think it's going to help recruiting tremendously. And if you're a recruit considering Colorado, I don't see how this doesn't do anything but make you want to go shake that man's hand even more.
Again, nobody sees it like I see it, but now it's the point to where now when these guys call, again, guys, I want you to know that recruits talk to recruits. The biggest recruiter is other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so now when Jordan Seaton call you up and say, bro, I need you. I need you to come on. I need you to come on this way, man. You see what my coach done went through? I told y'all that everybody like to see a rainbow, but to get to a rainbow, you got to have some rain. So when I tell you this, hey boy, we done been through the storm already. And we done came through the other side. So if you trying to see the rainbow, or you trying to get to the pot of gold, and I ain't talking about no money, I ain't talking about no NIL because we ain't dishing that out. But if you trying to get to where you trying to go, then you better come on to Colorado. I just believe that it's gonna help tremendously. Guys that are on the fence, and then if you got some of them old school parents, Dukes, who got some values, who ain't just chasing that check, hey, I know what my son is going to receive at the University of Colorado. And if it's not abundantly clear by what's going on right now in the NFL, like I said, I don't know what you're looking for. I don't know what else you could be searching for if you're a recruit. So, like I say, if you a dog and you want to come play, like I say, I know it turned some heads because it's some big stuff happening in Florida, and I know it turned some heads, and it was big news. So I think that you gonna see a few kids that you thought maybe was on the fence. They gonna come to Colorado just sure, like you say. Prime tell you don't let me get them to a game. Just if you let me get them to a game, you in trouble. And so just imagine, like you say, that Georgia Tech game, homecoming, first time Shador and those guys are back in that stadium. It's gonna be electric. So I think that the recruiter is gonna be pumped up tremendously because of this. And then, but I want all you haters, for you haters out there, to see that's what I'm talking about. That's what y'all talking about. Y'all, that man ain't trying to listen. He already done did it. He already done did it. This just like you say. This ain't really it's not really for the kids. But y'all take it and run it with it like you want to, because you know what I'm saying. We gonna keep it positive over here. Go ahead, Rob.
No, shout out to Miss Phyllis for the 199 super chat. Rob, I'll be at the game. Hope to see you. Hey, RobDaManMedia will be in the building. We gonna try to get Coach Dre to a game. Y'all just wait. We gonna get him to a game, man. Y'all know which one. But to move into the football conversation, when you look at the overall landscape of this team, and you look at the position battles during fall camp, what three positions will you be looking forward to seeing in fall camp?
Shoot, you want to go first, Dre? Who you want to go?
It don't matter.
Go ahead, dudes. You can go, bro.
I bet. I'm looking forward to running back, linebacker, and cornerback. So I want to see the running backs just to see who ends up being the guy. I want to see who the first out is. I think Dallin Hayden may be the most well-rounded, who can do a little bit of everything. Somebody who kind of mirrors size-wise, ability-wise, Marshall Faulk, but you just don't know what Coach Faulk sees in these running backs. And
Yeah.
one thing about it, Coach Dre, I know you can attest to this for sure. Everybody has their own set of eyes in their room. So it's something that somebody like the last running back coach may have seen in somebody that Coach Faulk doesn't see, and vice versa. So it may be some plays that, let's say, Michael Welch, maybe last year he didn't get in the outside zone, but it could be something that Marshall Faulk can tune up. Coach Faulk can tune up in Micah to say, you know what, I like the way you run it. You know what, hang tight to that guard, or hang tight to his backside, and then bust it. You know, he may see something that can allow Michael Welch to where we're thinking he's a between the tackles guy, that, you know, maybe he sees something else in him. So I think that the way Marshall Faulk views that running back room is going to be really interesting to see. I think the linebacker room is going to be important, because when I see Martavius French and I see Reggie Hughes, I see two running hit linebackers who are good in space, sideline to sideline type guys. And then I think the wild card is going to be the guy from North Alabama. I think his name's Sean Myers.
Yeah.
Man, just talking to people around, he's your typical prototype, old school Mike, smart, come down, hit you, ain't finna do no whole bunch of cartwheels and backflips. Hey, football. You take that and you add that into the athleticism that you brought into the program. I think that's a really good three-headed monster. And this is just what people were telling me. I know one of his other offers was Jacksonville State down there with who now their linebacker coach is Deshaun Davis, formerly at Auburn, and Coach Charles Kelly is down there. He's got a head coaching job. So one thing I know about CK, if you don't have it up here, you can't play for him. Period.
Yep.
And that's
It's complex.
Yeah, for sure. You can't play for CK without having it. So I think that's a guy that I know that he really wanted in that program and saw something in him. So I trust his eyes as well. And then I want to see who that other cornerback is. I think you got some really good guys. You got Tion Parrs, you got RJ Johnson. There's one more guy that I saw that I really liked. I can't call his name right now. But just even with those two, and I know you brought in the guy. What's the other? There's one more transfer portal guy. I'm gonna find that name out. But I think a lot of people are thinking that RJ Johnson can't do it. And I'm telling you, there may not be a more physically gifted corner. Just straight attributes. He may be the most physically gifted corner on the roster. Just straight attributes. I'm not saying technique. I'm not saying IQ. I'm not saying tackling ability. I'm saying you draw up a corner and how you want a corner to look. RJ Johnson is prototypical. So I think as long as he put it together, and we got to see Coach Prime when you go to look at Well Off at Pregame Network and Reach the People, you saw how much time Coach Prime was spending with RJ in the spring. And a lot of people were probably wondering, like, dang, you know, you're doing a lot of talking to RJ. Coach Prime was looking ahead, and he knew what he had. Yeah. So I'm looking at that other side of that cornerback battle as well, because Tion Parrs, when you go look at this film, he ain't no slouch either. So I think having that many guys, and then even a slot corner, seeing a return to Preston Hodge or does Calvin or the Stottmeyer pop down in that slot. We don't know. So I just think those cornerback positions outside of the one, we know DJ McKinney's the guy, but outside of McKinney, I want to see how that cornerback rotation shapes up.
You hit that something on the head that I want to make sure we touch upon that linebacker room. I think Salter, he gonna have something to say. I think.
Oh yeah, Salter, my bad. Yeah,
being healthy, finally being truly healthy, because he was hurt at TCU, and a lot of people didn't get to see his talent. So him being truly healthy, I think he's gonna be explosive. But it's gonna show that, you know, Coach Hart knows something. You know what I'm saying? He ain't no dummy by no means. And the players that we got in that room, there's a reason why, you know, that word keep going around about linebacker you, but you know, you're gonna get the real C. But go ahead, Coach Dre. I just want to throw that little tip in there because I want to make sure we get some love on that.
I mean, one of the rooms we both on the same page. That running back room. Something about that kid Track Hawk. When I went down and broke that kid film down, that kid do it all. When you if you go look at Track Hawk and you go look at Marshall Faulk at San Diego State, boy, you see some real kid resemblances of how that kid runs the ball, his movements and things of that nature. Again, I believe what you say, that Hayden is the best all-around back that we probably have the most, but you can't even say he's the most experienced, because I think that Track Hawk got probably more carries than Hayden altogether in college. And then, like you say, Michael Welch is the guy that I had the biggest high hopes for last year. I just think, like I say, he got injured, he couldn't get back healthy. So you just don't know which three of those guys, but it's a great problem to have. So running back is my main spot. My second spot is the offensive line. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
find a five. I gotta find a five. Like I say, for me right now, Seaton and Zach Crystal are the only two guys that I got pinned in. I got them guys pinned in. They wrote down in pen. Everybody else, they y'all in pencil. Uh, and we got to find out. I think the kid from I think Hill will be a guard. Uh, that center spot with McGill. Again, I think it's McGill gonna have to fight Yaya and Tyler Brown for that center spot.
No,
I
it's a
just,
person. It's a person you missing. It's a
oh yeah, the
person.
kid that just
Come,
yeah, and the kid that
yeah.
he just got there. So it's gonna be a position. And then, like I said, I got Zach Crystal at the other guard. Right now, I got Johnson. I got Larry Johnson. I got at the other tackle. And that's with me not seeing the kid from Texas A&M and not the kid from Ole Miss. Okay, and that's taking Kareem Harden off the field, a guy who was a starter last year. So uh, that's my biggest thing. But my thing is I want 13 offensive linemen that's ready to go. But that position is my next position that I'm looking at to find me five guys that's ready to go. And then I'm with both y'all. It's just a secondary in general for me. I think it's the most qualified room all the way around. I'm talking about cornerbacks, safeties, all the way around. There, your best ability is availability. You can't afford to get hurt. You can't afford to be slacking in practice. None of that. I agree with Deuce. R.J. Johnson is when you think about a prototypical corner and you come to a practice and you don't know nobody. The first kid you look at is R.J. Johnson. I just like the way that we set up. I think we at least 2 to 3 deep, and that kid from Florida Branch, that freshman, he gonna make some noise at that safety spot. And Tafik Byers, I just believe that kid's the next real deal at safety for the University of Colorado. So Preston Hodge coming back, that gives us a lot of depth. When you add a guy like Carter, when you got Carter Stoudemire, like you say, it's only one guy that's pinned in right now, and that's DJ McKinney in the secondary. That's the only guy that you can say, hey, I can take my pen out and put him at a corner. Every other spot in that secondary, hey, write it down with a pencil because it's gonna might get erased next week or it might get erased tomorrow. So for me, it's running back, offensive lineman, and the whole secondary as a whole unit that I'm gonna be checking out.
Look, I mean, I listen. I love everything that y'all said about the position battle. So I think it's a great thing to have, right? We actually got competition at a fall practice where, hey, listen, if you don't come with your lunch pail, you could be fourth or fifth on the depth chart tomorrow. So I love that we got the right competition in there. We actually the biggest difference, right? Because this is what I want y'all to talk about next. The biggest difference from looking at last year's team to the overall depth of this year's team, right? We had a bunch of star power that can eliminate a lot of things. Now we got depth. If we do run into a K-State situation where we go down 4 wide receivers, we got plenty of depth behind those 4 wide receivers. And we can put the next 4 in. It's still like the first 4 in. And then we got depth behind them. So to see where we came from year 1 to year 3, and year 3 has always been Coach Prime best year somewhere. What does it look like now that we at the University of Colorado in year 3 of Coach Prime playing? Go ahead, Dukes.
Man, I just talk about let's go back old school playing basketball. Starting point guard goes out 2-3 fouls, and you got the freshman or you got the backup that comes in who handle a little bit, handle a little shaky, he a little nervous. What y'all do? We pressing them right then. Free kill, easy money, right? Same thing in the football game. You got a cornerback comes in, he ain't really experienced or not. First time in a big time game. Oh, we going straight at his head. Now, Colorado, you don't have as many guys who don't belong. Like, there were some guys, think about this. On this team, and everybody gave Coach Prime a whole lot of hell his first year when he changed the floor of that roster. But he knew in order to win at this level, there were guys who were there that just could not play on the championship football team because if they could, they wouldn't have been 1-11.
Yeah.
Coaches don't make a team 1-11, not by itself. That's them players too. Now, maybe coaching might have left 2 or 3 games on the field. But at best, that's that coaching ain't leaving no 10 games on the field. I'm sorry, not 11 games. So now that you raise the talent level, you can't. Somebody goes down, you can't automatically key in when you get a backup in the game because you know what's going on. I thought that was a great point when you talk about going 9, 10 deep at the receiver spot. Dog, right now there's a world where, man, you can get to 8, and 8 could, and I'm not saying that that's what it is. 8 could be Terrell Timmons.
Yeah.
That's strong. It could be, and we and until you see the depth chart, that's just how deep that in the competition of that room is. And imagine this: you're able, and I always talk about this, being able to send players in waves. Because if you play in a team that only got 3 corners that can play, and you got 8 receivers, and every time that corner goes in the coverage, he's playing a guy with fresh legs. It could be the 4th quarter, and now you playing a guy you've played 4, and this guy's only played 2. Maybe 1.5, and he's trustworthy with the ball in his hands. Oh yeah, man, that puts you in a totally different stratosphere than you were when Coach Prime picked this team up. And so, like to your point, man, I think depth makes a hell of a difference.
I mean, this is what it means, and let me break it down to a lot of people that might don't understand. Because people get upset when people say, "Oh, what y'all mean we got a better team? We don't got a Shador, we don't have a Travis Hunter, we don't got a Shiloh, we don't." Right, guys, we don't have them. That's 5 to 6 guys you didn't name. You just heard Rob say, "I got 8, 9 guys at receiver." You heard Duke say that Terrell Timmons. Now we're not saying that Terrell Timmons, so I don't want my dog to get upset. We're not saying that you the 8th guy, but you could be the 8th guy. And if you telling me Terrell Timmons the 8th guy, that we in great shape. To be a quality football team, you have to have quality depth. And when I say quality depth, it means there is no drop off when you come off the field. Let's be honest. If Shador goes down last year at quarterback, do we have a quality backup? The answer is no. If Travis Hunter goes down last year, do we have a quality backup for him? Now we just saying for him to be on the field. We're not saying that we don't have good receivers, but do we have a guy that's equal or equivalent to Travis Hunter? The answer is no. If Seaman Craig came off the field, Stoudemire was hurt, did we have a quality backup for him? No. This year that's not the case. When you go to that room, yeah. And that also iron sharpen iron. So now when we out here practicing and okay, coach, tell me I'm the one. Well, the guy that's behind me, he ain't gonna like that. He gonna be pushing because he think he's just as good. He gonna be pushing because he think he's just as good. So we have a better team because we have quality backup. And when we say quality backup, that means there is no drop off when the guy that may be starting is coming off the field. Deuce hit it on the head. No foot. I said this when this first happened, and people were like, "Oh, y'all, when Coach Prime kept these guys, or when he got these guys, or everybody was ranting and raving, they was gonna be good." Guys, he had to pick from whatever was left. He got the job after signing, right before signing day. He still pulled Cromani McClain, but he had to pick. He didn't have the pick of the litter. Ever since he had the pick of the litter, you see what he's gone and got. But like I say, you gonna make somebody feel bad. I need you to come out here and play. If you a boss, you gonna make this person feel bad and say, "Hey, I showed you know the only reason I picked you was because you was the only thing I could get." Well, I don't want to come work for you. I don't
Right.
want to do nothing for you. You get what I'm saying? Go tell a girl, "Hey, I'm only with you because the old girl over there, she wasn't, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? All right, watch what happened with that girl you told that to. Let's see how long
Mhm.
she hang around." So I mean that's how you gotta look at it. But I just think that year 3 gonna be better, not because we have the star power. We don't have the star power, but we got a quality football team. And again, if you really go look at teams that win championships, guys, they have quality backups. Why Alabama won 6 championships? Because when that guy get hurt, we got another guy coming in that's just as good or maybe better. Y'all forget that Jalen Hurts got hurt and Tua just came in and it looked like they didn't miss a beat. Then Tua got hurt. Then Tua got hurt, and Jalen Hurts came back in, and he didn't miss a beat. So that's what you gotta have. You gotta have quality backups, and that's what we got.
I, one of my favorite things that I seen from Coach Prime today is when he said, "I walked into the room and I looked at some of my guys in the room, and I couldn't even recognize that those were my guys because of the work they put in from Coach Swayze."
Mm.
That it just hit home. Like when he said that, I'm just sitting back, like, for you to be around your players and you knew what you recruited, and you've been seeing these guys, and some of them through the program this year 3, some of them is year 2, and not to see and to see the transformation in the off season is tremendous. So I know Dukes, you were there in the springtime. What was the biggest thing that you noticed when you seen Coach Swayze do his thing and you being there throughout the some parts of the summer or whatever? What was the biggest thing that you noticed? The biggest difference from last year to this year, as far as Coach Swayze goes.
I'll probably say player accountability. I think he gave them a lot of tools, but I think what he also did, for whatever reason, the culture of going to get it on your own, wanted to be like not having to do a whole bunch of yelling and cussing and fussing. The player accountability was so high. So whatever the belief system is that he put into his guys, that he put into this team, I believe a lot of it was already there. I think he just honed it and sharpened it. And so now you got guys that Coach Swayze could take a day off with what he's with and not, and the guys won't miss a beat. And I think that's the sign of a true leader. I think that's where, when you got guys who are gonna do what they're supposed to do, whether I'm watching or not, that's great. Like even if it's a kid, that's great parenting. When you know what your kid gonna do when you're not around, and nobody got to come tell you. And I think that's the same thing when it comes to what we can talk about, the exercises that he gave. We could talk about old school. We could talk about how much he ran them. But I think the mentality is just as important as the physicality when it comes to how do you get better physically for the season.
I mean, what else did you expect from Swayze? Swayze coached arguably the greatest team to ever play college football.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? And I got to see it up close and personal because if people don't know, Clinton Portis is my dog.
Right.
He from right down here in game, played against him in high school. That's my guy. Uh, and those guys, when he keep telling you, I know what it looked like, y'all take it for what he telling y'all. I know what winning football player, what winning culture looks like. So I look for, that's the kind of stuff I look for in signs. I look for him saying, when he said that, the first time I heard him say that, hey, y'all got it. Y'all got what I'm telling y'all. I know what it looked like. I ain't gonna BS you. He when he first came in there, he didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't sugarcoat nothing. He told old boy, stand up. He didn't sugarcoat nothing. He from Dade County. Them boys don't know nothing, but hey, you better get it up. We gotta get it off the muscle. So you gotta feel great. And then that's what character shows. When I don't have to, again, everybody know what you're gonna do when the ball's standing right over you. You're gonna do your best. You're gonna do everything you can. But when he's not there, do you do the same thing? I give you an example. So yesterday, you know, we start camp early in the morning. So my head coach thinking he gonna beat me to the facility. So he called. He say, Dre, where you at? I call him on FaceTime. I said, this is where I'm at. I'm in here already doing stuff, not because I'm trying to show that I'm better or I'm doing this, that, and the other, because I care about him. And I want my young men to be better. They ain't got nothing. See, a lot of y'all do stuff for accolades. A lot of people do stuff for a pat on the back. I ain't doing it for the pat on the back. I want my young men to feel great. And what Dion did when he came to Colorado was made people feel great about coming to the University of Colorado. People don't forget that before Coach Prime was there, they only ate 2 meals a day. They wasn't feeding them kids no 3 times a day. Oh, Prime said, no, 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 no,
Half
no,
them kids
no,
ate,
no, no.
half them kids ate there.
You get what I'm saying? Oh no, we got to do that. And then listen to what Prime said. Prime said, I changed everything in the building. If you clean the offices, you got to clean the offices like you a champion. You got to, because if you don't do that, you can't be here. And a lot of y'all don't see that, because you will think what you thinking to yourself is what that got to do with winning football. It's about a culture. It's about what you bring into the table. I'm changing everything in here because I want everything to reflect winning. And then I don't, but this is the biggest thing, and we can go back to Deuce is, I want my young men to know that even if you clean buildings, that don't mean you a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I cut the grass if I'm a maintenance man at the university, that don't mean I'm a failure. Just because I ain't the guy putting on the helmets and the shoulder pads, it don't mean I'm a failure. Because some people think you just a Dewey. If y'all don't understand that, well, look at Coach Prime's clothes. That guy's initial that's on his shoulder on everything he wear. You know who that was? That ain't Bobby Bowden. That ain't Mickey Andrews. That's the guy who fixed the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
They handed out the equipment. That's
Mm-hmm.
just how much he cared about that guy. Not Bobby Bowden, not all his other coaches, the guy that gave him the equipment, the guy that people are shun on or not look at or think highly of. So that's one of the other, that's what people don't look at is I do that because I want them to understand that these people are just as important as these young men are going to put on the helmet and the shoulder pads every day. So you got to be, like you said, you just got to tip your hat to what Coach Prime is teaching these young men. Like I say, not just on the field, but also off the field. And that it's the little things, guys. Everybody got 5 stars. Everybody got athletes. What makes a team difference is the little things. Like you say, did you work out over this break or did you just go home and party? Did you eat right? Did you go home and pig out? Did you do the stuff that you were doing when Coach Swayze and the strength and conditioning team were looking over you? Did you do that? Did you do the right thing? You got to ask
Mm-hmm.
yourself that because that's the things that count and that's what builds character. And I think that's why Coach Swayze and this strength and conditioning staff feel good about where this team is going. Again, Swayze told you the main reason why he didn't have the music on at first was because we make our own music. We don't dance to nobody else's music. We gonna make our own music. And once he realized that these guys can make their own music, okay, now we can turn the music back on because you guys can make your own music. So, hats off to the Florida boy coming down here to Boulder and doing what Florida boys do. And that's just it, man. He's just a great football coach, man. I'm glad that Coach Prime brought him on to help his football team.
The biggest thing I took away from Coach Swayze all this whole process is the unity of the team. Of everybody wanting to put the extra work in, everybody wanting to work out, everybody showing back up on time, and everybody healthy. This is arguably the first off season that we're going into fall camp and everybody healthy. Every year we've had a problem somewhere, whether it be offensive line or defensive line, somewhere there's been a problem with health. And this is the first year. So it's like year 3, everybody's healthy, everybody's in shape, everybody's ready to go, everybody just looks completely different. And that's why we got to give our hats off to Swayze and his team, because it wasn't just Swayze, it was his team too. So I want to make sure they get some love, because that means that's going to take them to another level that people don't even understand. And I know a lot of people are low on the Buffs. I know right now everybody low on the Buffs. Some people got them 5-7. Some people got them middle of the road. Some people got them only winning 3 games. But you know what? The work been done. The work it's already been written. We just got to go out there and show now. And so when you look at this whole landscape of this team, how do you see the season playing out, Duke?
And at the worst, 9-3. I'm thinking 10-2. That's what I'm thinking. I just don't nobody, and I said is don't nobody scare me in the Big 12. Like
No.
Like when I think about roster, when I look at rosters from top to bottom, there's not a roster that I look at and I say that's a problem. Like they're so much better than everybody else in the conference. I think it's going to look a lot like last year. I think it's going to be a few teams that prove themselves to be on a different level, but I think out of those, Colorado will be one of those teams, and I see 9-3, 10-2. But either way it goes, I think whatever record is necessary to go to the Big 12 championship game, I think that's what record they'll end up with.
I mean, Duke's hit it on the head. Duke's last time I checked, what Arizona State was picked to finish last year in the Big 12.
Shit, was it last 15
Yeah.
something like that?
Slap last.
Yeah.
What that mean? I don't care nothing about what people talking about. Again, I feel we are a better football team. Uh, I think the addition to Marshall Faulk in that running back room to help. I said it last night. I think you're gonna really see what a great football coach that Pat Sherman is because, and again, this is not to say that his hands were tied. This is the way I put it. When you have Peyton Manning or Tom Brady on the football field, they can check out any play they want to.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? You don't see. I keep telling people if you don't believe me, go watch Peyton Manning get in Jeff Saturday's face when the coach called a run play that Jeff Saturday felt was gonna work. Peyton Manning checked to a pass play that didn't work, and Saturday was hot. Peyton Manning told Saturday, "Hey man, you just snap the football and shut up. I make the calls back here. Don't be questioning what I'm doing." Again, so when you have a Shador Sanders back there at quarterback, a guy who studies like he studies, work as hard as he works, you don't get mad when he makes those adjustments. Again, no knock on Caden Salter or on Salter. No disrespect to Juju. They will not have that kind of power. They will not have that kind of power. So you're gonna see just how good of an offensive mind that Coach Pat Sherman is, and when you add Marshall Faulk, when I heard Marshall Faulk say, "Hey man, me and the running backs need to be in the room with the offensive linemen," that let me know that hey, they're gonna be dedicated to running the football. Like you say, there is nobody in the Big 12 that scares me. I think Ohio, Arizona State is strong. I need to see what Utah going. You get this a transfer quarterback just come in. He ain't been, you know. Utah is a program that usually builds through their program. They don't usually go out and get transfers. So for them to go out and have a transfer quarterback, I got to see what that looks like. And now BYU, you don't have a leader anymore. Your quarterback is gone. So now you going in the season with an unproven guy. Uh, so I think everybody's kind of in the same boat. Kansas State is the only guy who brings back a solid quarterback, and we took them to the brink last year. I think they had a better football team all around last year than they have this year. So uh, I feel comfortable. But again, that's the great thing about playing Georgia Tech out the bat instead of playing uh, paying somebody to come to Boulder to get their head beat in, and for you to be
Yep.
acting like you Superman, to play a great football team right off the bat, to see how good your football team is. That's gonna say a lot about us and say a lot about this football team. So I'm just excited. Like I said, I got 10-2 because for some reason we just don't play good coming off of breaks. So I just want to find a way how we can get to play better when we get off the bye week. Hey fellas, if y'all listening, we ain't going home this year on the bye week. We staying at the facility because that's the only week where me and Rob called it. After we
Yeah.
played UCF, we like, man, we go on the bye week. Oh my God, they gonna be hyped. They gonna be the beat UCF. The boys from Florida ain't gonna want to come home right after the game. They gonna be trying to stay home. And so, but I got us at least 9-3, but I got us at 10-2, playing for the Big 12 championship and being in the playoffs for the first time for the first time in Colorado history.
Hey, I just want to take this moment out, man. Appreciate Duke's scoop and the fire interviews that he been delivering. The interview with Bucky, man. As soon as he dropped that Bucky, what I do, Scoop.
Yeah, shoot, man. He put it out there. Hey, he hit me too. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I was like, hey, man, hey, that's what we need though. But that's the type of energy we need. Sometimes, man, it's you gotta peel this thing back and really talk about what people don't want to talk about for you to understand what people really going through. And it's okay to check on your people. It's okay. I know a lot of people get like they be nervous, but it's okay to check on your people. So I just wanted to give you your flowers on that because that was on top of my head because I was looking at All Fall Down because the song had popped up on my laptop. And I'm like, yo, I gotta make sure I talk about that because I Bucky, if you watching, Hey man, we gotta blow that thing up. I almost put it on the intro today. Like, yo, let that thing ride out. But I didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? So, but no, it's just a token of appreciation, man, because I think that people forget about those things. And
No, for sure.
talking about a token appreciation, right? When you look at this Colorado Buffs team, what is the biggest addition that you've seen from last year to this year that you think that's going to help Colorado make it farther than what they did last year?
Man, I think Jaheim Otis. If I had to say, when you look at what Colorado got beat last year, they got gassed, and it was bloody too. It wasn't, you know, when that water faucet got cut on, it wasn't no cutting it off. Nobody, and they didn't have a guy to stand up and say, I don't care what the scheme is, I don't care what the gap assignment is, I don't care. No. And I think Jaheim Otis can be that no kind of guy. And we've all seen that guy before, that sometimes where, you know, it's like, all right, you know what, somebody could be going crazy on the perimeter and you got a corner that you say, you know what, you go get him. Or you got a linebacker that and the quarterback getting off. You know what? You drop that safety down and you got a guy that you say, you go get him. Well, Colorado didn't have that guy in the middle last year. And I think Jaheim Otis is that guy who has the size and athleticism to say, you know what, regardless of gap scheme, I'll get there. Don't worry about it. But B to A, we cool. I got that. And I think that if you get into a position like you did last year, where you maybe I wouldn't say maybe out schemed, but kinda and when it came to certain run attacks where Colorado just didn't have an answer once they got rolling. I think he can be that equalizer that you say, you know what, let me use him as the catalyst to make them run away from here. So now I can double up on the backside. And I think so Jaheim Otis is that kind of like, if you play chess, you know what a queen does. The threat of a queen allows you to build around the rest of your game. So I think having that threat on the interior will allow Colorado to scheme differently so they don't get gashed as much up the middle.
Sure.
The biggest addition for me, uh, I like what Duke said with Jaheim Otis, because again, I just think that he's right. But also, Coach Prime tell you every leader ain't a dog and every dog ain't a leader. What Jaheim Otis brings to the table is, look at what he did for Tafik. Well, look at what he did for Thomas. That I didn't even know that kid was on the team till this year. Uh, and then also look, but my biggest is not an addition. It's a guy that was been there. It's Quincy Wiggins, a guy who's waited his turn, who's been in this system, who didn't waver, who hasn't transferred, who didn't cry me a river, because I was a big time stud coming out of high school and I should be playing, and stayed here and waited his turn, and now it's my time. And so that guy needs to be applauded. Him and Alden Walker, for me, are the best two additions, because I think they're going to have the best 2 seasons defensive line wise on the team, because of the simple fact is they've been here, they put in the work. You can't say these kids haven't bought in, because they never wavered. Even when they brought in other guys and other guys played in front of them, all it did was make them hungrier, make them go get it. So for me, it's also on the defensive line, but it's guys that were already there in Allen Walker and Wiggins for me, because I just think these guys are guys that people don't know their name like that, but by the fifth or sixth game, the whole country will know who these two guys are at defensive end for the University of Colorado.
I mean, our defensive line room is insane. It's a lot of people that ain't household names nationwide, but they gonna know by the end of the season. I think that we got a lot of differential, like, playmakers that can dominate a game, and they're gonna put it all together this season. So chat, if y'all got any questions that y'all got for Duke or Coach Dre, drop it in the chat right now. Because I don't want to hold up Duke all night. I know he got his own thing that he gonna do on his platform. So if y'all got any questions y'all got for Dukes or Coach Dre, just let us know. Drop it in the chat right now. I'll make sure it get answered. Because what you got, about 10 more minutes, Dukes?
Sure, yeah.
All right, bet. So y'all got about 5 minutes, man. Drop whatever questions y'all got in the chat for Dukes, and I'll make sure y'all get it answered. But here's the last thing I'm gonna ask you guys. The overall coaching staff. How big is this coaching staff with the new additions that they added? and some people roles changing on this years. Because I know you've been in the building, Duke, so you got a little glance to see what those different roles look like. Explain to what we going the evolution of what we're gonna see this year compared to previous years.
Man, so I think we don't talk about him a lot, but man, Hageman, dog, like Hageman has such a good relationship with people. He knows a ton of people. Him working on that Under Armour circuit, seeing him at work, seeing him be able, and the way that he builds guys up off the field, I think him having a stronger voice this year than he may have had in seasons past. I think people are looking to him now. Him, Andre Gerard, those are really two good, really guys that are going to be able to help you inside out. So I think, yeah, it may not be their room, quote unquote, but it's their room as well. Shout out to Gunner too, like no disrespect to him at all, but when you talk about two guys that are gonna have an immediate and have already had an impact, just I watch Hageman, just the way that he loves up on guys, even when they eating, just like, hey man, hey look, don't worry about what you say. What I saw you earlier. That's gonna be on film, but this is how we gonna fix it. And when you see it on film, don't be embarrassed because you know what you're gonna do on the flip side. And I just think he probably doesn't get the flowers that he deserves. So yeah, I would say the secondary members of that offensive line room, and I think they're gonna run it. I think they'll be this year's the way last year we saw Coach Dancy and we saw Coach Sapp and dang, what's my other man name?
Lewis.
Lewis. Coach D. Lou down there in Miami right now. Shout out to D. Lou. D. Lou so real. I'm gonna tell you about that in a minute. D. Lou a real one, man. Between those three, I think now you can see that same dynamic with the offensive line. How they were able to always be together. How they all were able to piggyback off of each other. I was able to sit in on a call with a guy that a prospective guy to come to Colorado while I was there, and just sitting in and just watching how they all just feed off each other. Man, their relationship is crazy, and I think that relationship is gonna pay dividends when they pick the best five this year. Once they find that five, like you said, Coach Dre, I think it's gonna be hell to pay.
I mean, we on the same page. That's it for me. It was the offensive line coaches because I felt like this was the same setup, like Duke said. Uh, because what you got to do is you got to respect Coach uh Sander for Coach Prime for not overlooking Gunner White. It's
Yeah,
easily to go hire. You can easily hire Dre and made him the offensive line coach. You could have easily hired Big George, but you didn't do that because this guy has been loyal. This guy has stayed down and he's been working under all of these other guys. I keep telling people, now if this guy would have went somewhere else and became one of the greatest offensive line coach, you know what people would have said? Well, Deion Sanders a big dummy, man. He had that man on his staff and had him sitting behind other guys. No, I'm gonna let you. This is your room. These is your guys. And like you say, when you got guys that don't mind being Indians, they don't have to be Chiefs. See, I think a lot of people get caught up in titles. Just because you got a title, that don't mean that you don't. I tell people all the time that if you go watch the old mafia movies, if you go watch The Godfather, yeah, the Don is the guy, but the consigliere is really the guy who makes the decisions.
yeah,
He go to all the meetings. He go to do all the work. He just called the Don and say, "Hey, what you think about this? What you think about that?" And so that's what makes this room so good because I don't see anybody with any egos. Everybody is willing to help each other. Gunner knows, hey, I'm the head, I'm the offensive line coach, and I'm the guy. But I don't have the biggest ego to say, hey, I can't defer to these guys. Like you say last year, when you look at the egos you had in that defensive line room. You talking about Warren Sapp, who's a Hall of Famer. You talking about D. Lewis, who played in the NFL, and then you got Dancy, who came from the HBCU. You would think that, oh, they would just try to overpower Dancy, or we gonna do it this way. Hey, you heard Sapp say, hey, when these guys said we were doing these drills, that's what we did. I didn't try to overstep my boundaries and say, hey man, this how we did it for the Bucks or whatever. So I'm with Dukes on that. The offensive line coaches, I think they're gonna pay dividends. And like you say, when you find that five that you find, I think it's gonna be a great day for Colorado. I can't wait to get these boys in shells because you don't have to get in full pads. for the
Yeah,
offensive line to get to work. All you got to do is
yeah.
get in them helmets and shoulder pads. And so I can't wait to get those guys in shells and see what's going on. But I'm with Duke, the offensive line coaches for me.
All right, so I'm gonna knock out the super chat first, and then we're gonna go to questions. Rob, thank you for being someone we can trust with CU content. Dukes, you've been solid from the jump, and we appreciate that. Coach Dre, hope you had a good first day, and thank you for being you. Appreciate that, JB. I had a pleasure meeting JB last year at the UCF game. Appreciate you. So first question we got up from Miss Pamela. Which game is the most challenging for the Buffs?
Man, I think I think that West Virginia on the road.
Mm,
I
I
think
like
that
that.
cross country trip to Morgantown. I
And
believe
it's
it's
hard.
in. I
It's hard
believe
to
it's,
get to Morgantown.
yeah, bro. It's a lot going on up there. I believe all through the mountains and all that. Then I think it's gonna be usually it gets real windy and cold around that time of the year, and it's a different cold on the East Coast than it is what Colorado is. It's a different kind of cold. So when you up there, yeah, man, the snow ain't the same in Colorado. Like,
No.
I was outside. I just had on a hoodie and sweatpants and it was snowing. I was like, oh, this ain't even that bad. Like, I'm tripping.
Hey,
Snowing in
Dukes.
Atlanta,
Hey,
different.
Dukes.
Yeah.
I try to tell people that, and I'm like, "Dawg, I live here." I'm like, yo, it's snowing and it's like 40 degrees outside, 50 degrees. It's like what you think the temperature really is. It's really not as cold as you think it is. And when
Yeah.
it's 40, it's really like 60 degrees. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not as cold. Like it has to get to like below 20 degrees for it to feel like it's cold. But man, Colorado weather's different.
It is. I felt it. No, for sure, bro. You're right. Because when I was out there, I was like, man, I just had on a hoodie and some sweats. And I walked outside and it was snowing, like snowball fight snowing. And I was like, there ain't no way I could have been at the crib doing that. When it's snowing in Atlanta and the snow stick, but hey, it's some ice on the ground. You can't drive. Oh, hey, no, man, that ain't it. So I think that West Virginia trip is gonna be one. I can't remember if it's after a bye or not, but if
It
it's after,
is. It is. I think it is, and that's like I say that's that trap game for me. That's that game. I'm with you on that. Like Rich Rod back in West Virginia, he done brought back Pat White. You gonna see that old Virginia when they had Pac-Man and them guys. You know what I'm saying? They bringing that tradition back to West Virginia. And so if them guys get that thing to going early and get them a couple wins under their belt, like you say, going up there to West Virginia, it's gonna be different. It's just gonna be different. So to me, I'm with you on that. That in the Utah game because I just got to see what Utah is. I think this Kenny Willingham last season they're gonna be playing for coach. I think this is it for him. I think they already got a succession plan in place, and so those two games are the two games that I'm concerned about. West Virginia, Utah. Go ahead, Rob.
All right, next question we got up. What do you see the quarterback situation? I mean, how do you see the quarterback situation working out? Now, I try to avoid this question all night, and that's the reason why. I think it's pretty straight how this thing gonna go. But I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and answer that one out.
I think they both gonna play. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Hey, that's it. I said it last night when somebody say, "Hey man, what's gonna happen with the quarterback?" Coach Prime usually walk Shador down the sideline. I say I think he gonna walk both of them down the sideline and walk both of them back. I'm with Dukes. I think both of them gonna play, and we gonna leave it at that.
Dukes, I don't know if you can answer this one or not. It's Leftwich coming. We still it's a wait and see to me. That's what I'm gonna leave it at. It's a
I
wait and
don't
see.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey fam, I don't know what y'all think we'd be knowing. We know a little bit of we some nobodies. I keep telling. Well, me and Rob some nobodies. Duke's the guy, but
Nah. I'm right with
you
y'all.
get we don't
Hey,
have no answer for that. I don't have no answer.
either we all some nobodies or we all some
Yeah.
somebodies, but we together for sure.
Yeah, for that's for sure.
Yeah. For
I
sure.
believe it. I believe in special teams, but do y'all think should be basically who y'all think should be the primary returner? That's what I'm gonna say in that situation.
I like Q for 6. I like little Q. Like I think Q. I think that's a good role for him. I think it's just something special about when he get the ball in his hands. I'm not saying nobody else don't have that, but especially that short area quickness when it comes to punts. Now they just very very high level in high leverage situations. But
Yeah.
when you look at the amount who we played in high school, what he did in the state championship game, when he was tasked with playing corner against the number one receiver in the country, and he basically boxed him up. Like, I just think he's a gamer. So if it's somebody that I want to see with the ball in their hands, it'll be Q for six.
Hey, I'm gonna surprise a lot of people. Cam McHale.
Ooh, yeah.
Cam McHale. I just think we got to find a way to get the ball in that kid's hands.
Yeah.
Cam
Yeah.
McHale. I
He hungry.
wanna see he hungry. He want it. Cam McHale. I just and a sleeper for me. If he don't start at running back, I think you'll see Trackhawk back there somewhere too. But for me, right now, it's Cam McHale.
See, I went Cam McHale. I'm going Cam McHale for a different reason. I just remember talking to him every game that I was at before the game and just seeing that fire in his eyes. Like, man, I just wish I could be out here right now. I just wish I could be out here right now. Because he wanted to help that team last year, and knowing that he couldn't because of the injury,
Right.
He gonna have a different fire about him coming into this fall camp, and they're gonna find a way to give him the ball.
Man, one thing about Cam McHale, he may be the best safety on the team. He got the potential to be the best wide receiver. He might be your best running back. Like, he's just such a really good athlete that is like. So I think that's a really good pick, especially when you just say, you know what, forget everything, go play football. It's gonna be hard. You don't find a lot better than Cam McHale for sure.
All right, last question before we get about this thing. Do you think having a bye before those other games can affect the game?
Yeah, I think so. What you gain in recovery, you lose in momentum. So, but that's assuming you winning. Now, bye can be really good if you're losing. So
Yeah.
you coming off a loss and you get a bye, that can help you lick your wounds a little bit and recover. So I think it does have an impact, and it can go either way. That arrow can go up or down. So you just got to do your best to manage it.
Yeah, that's basically you just gotta we gotta find something. We gotta find something because that's always been our Achilles heel. It seemed like Duke say, if I'm undefeated, I don't want to stop. Now, if I done lost a couple games, that helps us because then you reset. So if you done got a couple losses, as a coach, you come in and say, hey man, this bye week we forget about them two losses, blah 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 blah. But if you undefeated and you rolling, you on a 3-0 run or 4-0 run, that hurt because I gotta slow my guys down. We gotta break routine. Most of them guys, they trying to go home for 2 or 3 days, and so it's just all of that in one. So yes, it can be a plus and a minus at the same time. So I really want us to stay at the house this year when we go on break, or hopefully what happens is we go on break after one of them Friday but I don't think it is.
No.
I'm finna say hopefully it was after one of them, but it's not. So that's the biggest thing. And maybe it was be after one of the Friday games, we get an extra day or something. But like he said, what you do, because you need the recovery now. You need the recovery because guys need to heal their bodies. You might have a little nick or injury, and we can get by with the recovery. But like you say, you lose your momentum if you got it rocking and rolling. So it can be a plus and a minus.
Hey, once again, man, want to appreciate Dukes for popping in on us. Our guy, man. We support everything that you do, man. Since day one, we supported you. Nothing but love, nothing but support on this end. But the way we end this show, every show, we like to give a word. You know what I'm saying? Whatever word that might be, to the people before we get up out this thing. So I'm gonna get it to you. Coach Dre gonna close this thing out, man. We finna end this thing on the right way. And hey, by the way, make sure y'all go support because he about to come pull up and he about to do his show. So make sure y'all go straight over to Dukes of School tonight, support, and we back on the regular. So man, hey, make sure you hit that notification bell because we back. So hey, close us out.
Man, I think it's simple and we said a whole lot, man. But patience really is a virtue. And man, once you plant it, man, you can't play and sometimes when you plant it and you planting it right, you got to check on it every 2 seconds. Let your faith go to work. And so I think patience is really important, and then having faith and understanding that faith is faith for a reason. So use that energy to focus on some other things so you don't, damage the crop by overwatering or overfeeding. You know, once you planted it, you know you did it right. Now you want to make sure you plant it right. Exercise patience and exercise faith.
Uh, like I said, I want to thank my brother Dukes for coming on and blessing us. This year, man, that's gonna be our thing. Me and Rob, man, it's the brotherhood. We're gonna try to support everybody that's out here doing positive CU content. Because that's what we pushing. People thought me and Rob was insane. Oh, y'all don't keep it real. Y'all just trying to kiss Prime behind. Y'all just trying to get in the building. No, we wasn't. Coach Dre was being Coach Dre. See, this Coach Dre every day. I ain't putting on no front for nobody. I ain't trying to be somebody I ain't. This is who I am every day of my life. So we gonna always support him. Dino, uh, you know, my guy from Life and Football, B Watts, all those guys, the morning run with Neely and Chico, Russ, and what he's putting out, and all those guys, Prime Media. We gon' and then my guy, Bird's Eye View. We gonna always support them guys because they always do the same thing. And this is what I'm gonna leave y'all with. When we talk about sacrifice, God made a sacrifice. I told you, you gotta always go through something. You read, everybody know about the story of Daniel in the lion, you know, Meshach, the people in the lion in the fiery furnace. So when the guys put the three young men in the fiery furnace, it was only supposed to be three young men. Well, when Pharaoh came and talked to the guards, he said, "How many young men did y'all put in the fire?" He said, "We put three." Pharaoh say, "Well, I just looked in there and I see four. And the fourth one looked like the Son of God." So if God can come sit in the fiery furnace and sit in this thing with these boys to give them the faith like that, like Duke just said, why can't you? How many of y'all will go down in the valley with your brothers or sisters? These two brothers that I got on this stage with them, if they in the fiery furnace, you can believe Coach Dre will sit in the fiery furnace with them. And like I always say before I leave, if I send no ships out, no ships will come in. And if there's no contest, nobody can win. Games can't be won if they haven't been played. Prayers can't be answered if they haven't been prayed. This has been a Rob the Man Media exclusive with my brother Duke the Scoop, my brother Rob the Man Media. Like he say, we back. And we will see us next time. Wednesday sometime, we'll be back. God bless and good night. We love all y'all.